So it's 3 in the morning and I just got off work and I don't know, feeling a little bit salty. I want to jump back into the Project 2025 forward, but I just want to say to all you MAGA voters, to third-party voters, and to people who didn't vote, this is your mess. You gave this to us. And I just want to be very clear, when people say stuff like both sides bad, or I voted for Trump because of the economy, those both sound equally stupid to me. But it doesn't even matter what I think, because it seems like the Republicans are going to win the House, and they are going to be in control of all 3 branches of government. So we get to actually witness what happens when one side, which is objectively worse, controls everything. And I promise you it won't be like 2020 to 2022 where Democrats controlled everything and we got the infrastructure bill and the CHIPS Act and the SAVE plan. It's gonna be worse. It's not gonna be both sides bad. It's gonna be this, the forward to Project 2025. So let's get back into it, shall we? To recap, in the forward, we learned that the Heritage Foundation made their first mandate for leadership back when Reagan was first elected, and they were able to enact 60% of their policies in his first year as president. They also claim in the forward that there is a totalitarian cult known as the Great Awakening, so that's super fun. That's me, by the way. That's us. That's the left. That's anybody who is not fully on board with the MAGA brand. We are a totalitarian cult known as the Great Awakening. This plan is a continuation of the Reagan Revolution, and the entire book is just step 1 in their plan to take over our government and our country. This part of the foreword is called The Conservative Promise. This volume, The Conservative Promise, is the opening salvo of the 2025 Presidential Transition Project, launched by the Heritage Foundation and our many partners in April 2022. Its 30 chapters lay out hundreds of clear and concrete policy recommendations for White House offices, cabinet departments, Congress, and agencies, commissions, and boards. Just as important as the scope of the Conservative Promise's recommendations is the breadth of its authorship. This book is the product of more than 400 scholars and policy experts from across the conservative movement and around the country. Contributors include former elected officials, world-renowned economists, and veterans from 4 presidential administrations. This is an agenda prepared by and for conservatives who will be ready on day 1 of the next administration to save our country from the brink of disaster. The Heritage Foundation is once again facilitating this work, but as our dozens of partners and hundreds of authors will attest, this book is the work of the entire conservative movement. As such, the authors express consensus recommendations already forged, especially along 4 broad fronts that will decide America's future. I'm sorry, just a little editorial here. They are explicitly telling us right there that this is the entire conservative movement's plan. They didn't all get together just for fun to write a 900-page book. They wrote this to be the policy proposals. Anyway, it continues with the top 3 recommendations. Number 1, restore the family as the centerpiece of American life and protect our children. Number 2, dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people. Number 3, defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats. And number 4, secure our God-given individual rights to live freely, what our Constitution calls the blessings of liberty. What makes these 4 pieces of the Conservative Promise so valuable to the next president is that they cut through superficial distractions and focus on the moral and foundational challenges America faces in this moment of history. This was one of the secrets of conservative success in the Reagan era, one our generation should emulate. As in the late 1970s, Americans today experience the failures of political and cultural elites in countless ways, in the job market and in the grocery store checkout, on the streets and in our schools, in the media and within our institutions. But in truth, these daily dysfunctions are not innumerable problems, but innumerable manifestations of a few core crises. In 1979, the threats we faced were the Soviet Union, the socialism of 1970s liberals, and the predatory deviancy of cultural elites. Reagan defeated these beasts by ignoring their tentacles and striking instead at their hearts. His approach to the Cold War, we win and they lose. His economic agenda, the human dignity of work and its many rewards. His platform in the culture wars, the community of values embodied in these words: family, work, neighborhood, peace, and freedom. Reagan destroyed the middle class, by the way, with his policies. So, this book, and Project 2025 as a whole, will arm the next conservative president with the same kind of strategic clarity, but for a new age. I don't know how much more obvious it can be that this is the agenda. Like, what is it that you people want from Trump, from the Heritage Foundation? Do you want them to, like, slap you across the face and say, Project 2025 is the plan? Like, it's literally the plan. You think Trump is just gonna go in and wing it? Like, no, babe. The tariffs, the deportations, the woke stuff, they're all one singular universe. Like, there's not competing conservative ideas. I mean, I guess there are on specifics, but like overall, they all want the same crap. It's the same crap they're already doing in red states. Abortion bans, bans on trans affirming care. They are forcing the Bible into schools now. They're banning books. They're banning drag shows. Libraries are closing. Hospitals are closing. Maternity wards are closing. Like Texas and Florida and Arkansas, where they like lowered regulations for child labor laws. That is what they want for the entire country. And now they have what they're gonna call a mandate from heaven, because they have the House, most likely, they have the Senate, they have the presidency, and they have SCOTUS. Just please open your eyes, people. I don't mean to sound like a condescending ass, but like, if this stuff isn't just blatantly obvious to you, then I don't know what is happening in your brain. Shit's gonna get really weird. And if you live in a red state, you know this. And hopefully you have a contingency plan. I don't know. If you live in a blue state, you might be protected. But their plan is to gut the entire federal government and have it all balanced on the executive, which would be Trump. He wants all the power and to demand loyalty from everybody else. So blue state folks, we are not safe either. Just please accept reality, folks. Like, Project 2025 is it.